Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sonja J. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm a little bit from a distance, but we here. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. I don't want to be too loud while recording this video. It's late. I'm trying to get this video up in a timely fashion. I told you guys, if you haven't seen my recent videos, go check those out. I have been posting back to back. And in my recent video I just posted, I told you guys I'm back. I'm doing this weekly on my bullshit. So I plan to be here every week. I plan to be here. It would be nice if I can get here Tuesday night, but for sure Wednesday day. Most likely this will be posted on Wednesday. It actually is Wednesday, but early in the morning. Anyways, we're here to react to the new season. Actually, this isn't even a new season. This is actually a continuation of season 3. If you look at the title, it says season 3, episode 13. So I guess we're still continuing on season 3. So I guess I'm just picking off in the middle of the season. Picking up. We're gonna get into the episode and the details of everything, but before we do that, real quick, a couple of things. So this season, the girls are filming together. That's cute. It's, you know, I kind of like it a little bit because it is different. It's giving us perspective to see how they act with each other and how they all get along, if they get along. And that's cute or whatever. I'm not sure if they're gonna do this all season or if this is just like for the first episode because they were filming for the OG reunion. But it was cute for an episode. I kind of hope they don't keep this up. At first I thought it was cute and I was excited when I seen the previews, but now that I actually watched the episode, if we're gonna be honest, they didn't give much this episode, especially for like a welcome back, we're back, like kind of like a premiere episode. Even though it's a continuation of season 3, it's still a premiere of them coming back, and it wasn't really that interesting if I'm being honest. Also, one other side note, Rachel looks good. I like her look. I do think sometimes it could be a little extra, like you can tell she's new at the makeup and the little like look she's got going on, so it's like sometimes she kind of overdoes it, but I like it. It's cute. It's giving like youthful. I have personality. Like, I'm not boring. I like it. It's cute. It's cute for her especially. And she's giving snatched. Like, okay. Also, one other thing. Kayla B is not back. How do you guys feel about that? I don't really feel like we missed her. However, this episode wasn't really that interesting in general. So I don't know if her being on here would have made a difference. But I'm trying to think of anything to say. I guess I don't really feel any way about her being gone, but she did have another girl in real life. So the episode starts off with Kayla and Brianna catching up in LA. They're at the pool and they're pretty much recapping both their storylines. Brianna recently moved out of her mom's house, so congratulations for her. That's good. She's been living on her own with Brayson for about 6 to 8 months. She says she's been doing good. Things are doing good. She broke up with her boyfriend. I forgot his name. Was it Brent or something like that? She broke up with him. She revealed in this episode that he was toxic for her. He belittled her. He made her feel like she wasn't good enough. And so she's glad she's done with him, but it's been hard and she's trying to figure herself out. And you know, Kayla was pretty much telling her, like, you need to allow yourself to feel the pain because a lot of times you try to, like, push it in and you want to get over it so quickly, but you need to allow yourself to feel it so you can grow and evolve. And she's right. And, you know, even though Kayla has a lot of her own problems, I will be honest, this episode, she lightweight was, like, the voice of reason in a lot of things that she said when she was amongst the group and when she would talk to the girls individually. Like, she... you can tell Kayla's not a dumb girl, but I think in a lot of ways because she's like very timid in her own personal life and she's not the type of person that, like, at least from what we've seen thus far, stands up for herself too much. It's hard for her to like demand what she needs in her own life. But in this episode, she was giving voice of reason. It was cute. And then so Kayla talks about her situation with Luke and how, you know, people have their opinions and more so people like online, but also we know she has her drama with her in-laws as well, which is Luke's family, who tried to fight her last season, the ghetto. And look, families sometimes get ghetto. And she was giving her opinion on that, her view on that, and also just like explaining how it's frustrating how, like, you know, the fans, the viewers always have something to say and they're always giving their opinions and they don't understand where she's coming from and why, you know, she cheated on Luke. And, you know, also she said that a lot of people just see it from her side because obviously she shares it on the show, but Luke did a lot of more cheating than she actually was willing to admit. And there's a lot more that went on and goes on that she shares, which I can believe that. And you know, everyone has their opinion, but at the end of the day, everyone has their own life to live. I will say sometimes some people do stuff that's really dumb, and especially if you care about them, it can be disappointing. And sometimes, especially if you're an empath, you can wear it even on you, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever. And you know, you don't want to see people that you like or you care about do dumb stuff or go through bullshit. And sometimes people are just haters and they just want to have something to say. But at the end of the day, everybody has their opinion. Everybody is going to feel how they feel about what you do in your life. But your life is your life. And, you know, with her being on the show, I think she kind of has a good balance of seeing that, you know, people are going to judge her. And it is frustrating. However, she chose to do this for a reason and it's helping her in her life. And, you know, I don't dislike Kayla. I actually kind of like Kayla, to be honest. But if I'm being 100% honest, her situation with Ashley did kind of throw me off. Just had this like out the blue energy towards Ashley and I didn't understand it. But it never made me not like her. It just made me look at her a little bit like, what's going on, sis? But I will say on the show thus far, I can say that Kayla's cool. And I think her storyline, is the most interesting on the show, if I'm being honest. That's probably also why I'm like cool with it, because it's like she gives good storyline. So Rachel shows up to LA with her sister and they pretty much check on her daughter with her mom because her mom is watching their daughters. And then she talks about what's been going on in her life and the fact that her and Noah are back together and they're living together and they've been living together for a few months. You know, to be honest, I really feel like I'm literally kind of going to just be recapping literally what happened because there wasn't much detail and description in this episode. It was just more so like, this is what happened last season. This is what's happening now, cut and dry. You know, it wasn't really no like detail, no like visually like being able to record and see what's going on. It was more so just like, we're telling you what this is and this is where we're at. Hey, you know, so yeah. Because then, you know, pretty much the same thing. The girls come together and have dinner before the actual reunion. And they pretty much like, you know, recap. Well, Kaya walks in first before they all like talk. And, you know, we get to see like Kaya's recap of last season and we get to talk and hear a little bit from Kaya and all the things. And then after we hear about her last season, there's no reason for me to recap it because it's like, if you've seen and you've been watching the season, you already know what's going on, you know. Then they all talk about how they pretty much feel being on the show and how it has affected them and, you know, like how it makes them feel and, you know, what people say and all the things. Pretty much the same thing Kayla did earlier with Brianna, but now they're all doing it collectively. And Kayla was the main one talking in this scene too. Like I said, voice of reason. Kayla gives like she's the main character vibes sometimes. Like, I don't know if she does it on purpose or if MTV likes her the most, so they want her to be. Cause it's weird, cause like in her real life, she doesn't talk much. Like she's very quiet to herself, timid. But when she's with the girls, that's why I was so thrown off about her beef with Ashley, because I was like, whoa, like, girl, what, pipe down. And then even now, like, Ashley's gone, but like with the girls now, it's like she talks the most when they're all together. It kind of seems like, if I'm not mistaken, I think she is the oldest of the group. So maybe that's why. Is she the oldest? Hey, she is the oldest. That makes sense. All right. So yeah. So, you know, and that's cute for her. I just wish she could do that in her real life. You know, she'd be much happier if she could be more assertive like that in her real life. So we get back to Madison, and she now lives in Ohio with her father and her new stepmother. Her father recently got married, and now she lives with her father at his new wife's house. And she also recently got back with Christian, which is her baby daddy. And so he packed his things and moved to Ohio too. And now they both, well, all three of them him, and their daughter live in the basement. And then he works full-time, I believe, and she stays at home with the baby full-time. So she complains now that he isn't taking care of the baby, that he hasn't been doing what he's supposed to do as far as like helping her around the house and taking care of the baby. He just pretty much goes to work, and then when he's home, he just sleeps, plays his video games, and just like does what he wants to do. The baby could be crying, the baby's diaper could be full, the baby could be hungry, and he'll literally just ignore her or complain and get upset if she asks for help. And I'm not really surprised. These were the same issues she had before. So, I mean, there's really no surprise. She just has to learn for herself pretty much to deal with it until she can't no more. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm not even really as judgmental as I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, last time we came together and did these reactions. Because at this point, I'm really realizing that people are emotional creatures and they do not think logically. It doesn't matter if you can show or give someone the facts 20 times in front of their face. If they emotionally are attached to the lie, they will go with the lie. You know, people just got to learn on their own, and in time, usually people will get it, even if it kills them. So I'm not surprised she's going through this. Also, her issue too with him was that he was cheating on her with multiple women. That was her main issue before, but she also did, I do remember her mentioning that he didn't help out much. And even at that time, he wasn't working, or he wasn't worried about it or something like that. And like, they just had a lot of issues. So I'm not surprised at all. So she talks to him about how she feels and lets him know that she feels like pretty much he's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's not changing. And, you know, his response is just like, so what do you want me to do? Move back to Arkansas? And she was like, I don't know. And honestly, that's where you can leave it, because it's like, clearly she's not ready to let him go. And she knows that. But at the same time, she knows this is not where it's at. And she knows she can't do this forever. So she'll figure it out eventually. Just not today. Not today. Like, honestly, I'm really bored doing this review. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, I thought this episode was going to give. I was excited. I thought it was going to come through. And I'm not necessarily like, oh, I want them to have drama. And I want the girls to get cheated on and get pregnant every other week so I can talk about it. I mean, I'll talk about it. But it's not that. It's just, you know, I just wanted to see more detailed information. It was just very much giving like what I'm giving you guys, a review. It was like they gave us a review of their own lives. They gave us a review of last season, and then they kind of topped it off with what's going on now. But we didn't actually really see it, so it just feels like I'm just recapping what they recapped, and I'm bored. Like, I mean, they showed a little bit of Luke and Kayla, and that was cute or whatever, but that was just a snippet. It was like mainly they were in LA, and I seen the details that they were going to be in LA filming. So it's not like I didn't expect that. I knew they were going to be together. I knew they were going to be in LA, but I just thought it was going to be a little bit more descriptive. They did the best they could, and I understand, but I just feel like they should have not used this episode as the opener to welcome us back to the season. I understand this is not like the first episode of the season, but this is pretty much like a premiere, because it's like, welcome back, we're back. So it's like they could have gave us a better episode, or more like, you know, just a more detailed episode of what we normally would get, and then, you know, get to that at the end of the season. Or they should have brought that to us last season when they were ending it, and then came back with a different I don't know. I'm just bored. Like, please tell me I'm not the only one. I'm bored. And don't get me wrong, because I want you to watch my videos, so I hope you guys are enjoying the video. I'm just saying, for me personally, I was kind of bored watching the episode a little bit, and I'm honestly like, I just feel like I'm regurgitating things that they literally said, as opposed to like giving notes and opinions off of what I've seen and how I feel about it. Like, and it could be partially too because I'm not as judgmental as I was prior. So maybe I don't have as much unpopular opinions to give, but I feel like they didn't give much for me to say. I mean, like, everything they gave is what we already knew. I mean, I could talk about Rachel moving back in with her boyfriend, but really, what is there to say? Am I surprised? No. you know? And it like they told us so quickly that it was like there was really no reaction to give. It was just like, oh, I'm not surprised, but okay. You know, it was no warm up to it. And then it was just like with Kayla and her situation, though there was a lot we can talk about, it's pretty much the same as it was last season. Like, even them trying to take a break isn't new. I mean, Luke said it himself. Like, it was just not giving anything to be excited for this episode. And I hate to even say that because I do like this show. And I'm not one of the ones saying, oh, cancel it. No, I'm just saying it could have been better. It could have been a better premiere episode. This was not exciting me. I'm bored reviewing this. But yeah, pretty much everybody meets up for the rest of the trip. You know, they have different talks and stuff amongst each other. At one point, Kayla and Kaya talk to each other about their baby daddies and also about how they're pretty much thankful that both their partners stepped up in their children's lives and helped them out. And then pretty much the same thing happened a little bit later in the episode with Tiaza and Bow Wow. Luke. And they talked about how they're thankful to be step parents to their children, and how they are pretty much grateful to have them in their lives. And then they take us back to Maddie's situation. She pretty much takes her father outside and has a conversation with him about how she's frustrated with her what's his name? She's frustrated with the guy and she's over him and all the things, and she like, you know, is pretty much like crying and upset about it. And her father is, you know, being a father. He's being honest and giving his honest opinion and saying how he knew he wasn't gonna change and that, you know, she should have left him where he was at, and why does she keep giving him chances? You know, pretty much just saying typical things that most people would say to someone they care about when they know they're with somebody that's not the best for them, or even not even the best, because sometimes you'll never really get the absolute best realistically, but you want somebody that's at least not only good for you, but shit, at least decent. I mean, he's not even, anyways, so he's telling him the truth. Like, hey, I don't think you should have took him back anyway. Why'd he even move back here? All the things. And she's pretty much just saying, you know, like she just keeps wanting to try because they have a kid together, which is where every girl goes wrong. Every girl does that. Whatever, I'm not gonna, but yeah, that's where y'all go wrong. Anyways, so that's her dilemma. And but she's young and she's gonna have to learn her own, and she will figure it out one day. And pretty much her father says the same thing. He's like, I got your back no matter what. And yeah, that's pretty much how it ended. And then they had their last day in LA, all the other girls that were out in LA, and they all came together, the boyfriends, everybody, and they all talked and spoke on how they feel about being on the show and about, you know, their thoughts on abortion, all the things. And they also talked about how they're grateful to have their kids and their kids changed their life, and kumbaya and over. So now we're gonna see how the rest of the season is gonna go. Hopefully it picks up from here because I'm bored. So I'm kind of annoyed about that. I stayed up for a really long time just to be bored. But it is what it is. Life is life, and it's my choice. It was. So have a good night, y'all. Well, actually, by the time I post this, it will not be night. I hope you guys have a good day, okay? I hope I will be well rested. Like this video if you like it, subscribe if you want to. I'll be back every week, so you come back every week, okay? We're gonna review this. I will be more upbeat, okay? I'm just a little tired and bored. But even if the episode's boring next week, I'm gonna still pep it up, okay? It's just really late and I need to be